Hi there, good day. This is Teacher Marel, and welcome to my YouTube channel. And for this video, we're going to talk something about modal verbs. So first, what is modal verb or what is modal? Modals are auxiliary or helping verbs. They may be used in expressing permission, obligation, and prohibition. Okay, let's take a look at our examples. First one, can you give me a cup of tea? Next, Codley must call the police after the incident. Next one, Janine has to prepare for her exams. And in the last one, Bernadette doesn't have to secure a permit for her to go out of her house. So let's find out later where these modal verbs can, must, has to, doesn't have to fall under the different uses of modal verbs. For example, is can under permission, obligation, or prohibition? What about must? Can this express permission, obligation, or prohibition? So let's find out later. Okay, so let's take a look at the uses of modal verbs. So first one is permission, and it includes modal verbs such as can, could, and may. The next one is obligation, which includes can't and mustn't. Also, the prohibition, which has the first one is has to or have to and must. And the last one, under no obligation or don't have to or doesn't have to. Okay, let's take a look of each modal verb on how we are going to use each in the sentence. Okay, so first one is for permission. Okay, it is an act of giving consent or authorization. In stating permission, modals to be used include, as I said, can, could, and may. So let's have first can. Can is used to ask for and give permission. Examples. Can you give me your number? It's like you are asking for someone's permission to give his or her number to you. It's not like you're going to say, oh, hey, I want your number. No, because you're asking permission, so that's why you have to use can. Next one, and number two is, can you help me with this? Well, it's like you are giving someone permission this time, giving someone permission to help you in doing something. It's like that person can help you. Okay, next one, number three. So I can do it if you want me to. That person is asking permission for someone to agree for him or her to help that speaker or person. Okay, so that's it for can. So let's have for could. So could is also used as a more polite and formal modal in asking permission. Okay, so same for could. It could is also being used in asking permission. Same with can. Okay, so examples. First one, I could possibly ask my mom to cook it for us. In this case, it's more polite because it's like you respect your mother. Actually, you can use can. It's like only for like closest friends or closest relatives, families, classmates, coworkers. But then for could, it's like, more formal. You can use it for a person who is not really close to you. For example, just a classmate, that classmate, but then you are not really close, you are not friends with each other, so you can use could. Or also like with the boss, you can use this one. And also like with your teachers, you can also use this one, like a teacher, could you give me the paper, like that. Okay, next one, number two is, could I interview the mayor? This one, the mayor belongs to high personnel. So that's why you have to use could, because, he is or she is really special. Okay, next, number 3. Could you lend me your book? Maybe you're borrowing it from a classmate not really close to you. So you can use could instead, just for you to appear more polite. So at least maybe they would grant your request. Okay, so we are done with could. So right now, let's go to the third one, which is may. So may is the most polite and formal modal used in asking and giving permission. So if can is used in informal setting, could is used in more formal setting, but may is used in the most formal setting. It's also most polite. Examples. First one, medical practitioners affected by COVID-19 may now claim their financial support from the government. That's like, we don't know all of the medical practitioners. So that's why we can use, may, or that person who orders something to this personnel may use also may, because they are not that really close, or maybe, and also they are like, respected people in the society. Okay, next. For number 2, teachers may now distribute the modules to the learners. Or maybe this order is from the principal. The principal or someone respects teachers a lot. So that's why he or she wants to appear more polite in ordering the teachers to distribute the modules. The next one, number 3, may I borrow your book, please? Okay, in our example for could, it's only could I borrow your book? But this time, since it's more polite, it's the most polite rather, you can add please. So may I borrow your book, please? Like that. Okay, so that's it for asking for permission. So right now, let's go to modal verbs, which express prohibition. Okay, so prohibition, it is an act of disallowing or prohibiting someone in performing or doing something. Modals showing prohibition include can't and must not or mustn't. Okay, from the word prohibit, it means you are not allowed to do something. For example, you are prohibited to smoke. You are not allowed to smoke. You are prohibited to use illegal drugs. So you are not allowed to use illegal drugs. You are prohibited to eat here. You are prohibited to litter here. Those things. Okay, so let's have the first model as it says here, can't. Okay, so can't is used in dealing with something against rules, laws, and signs. Okay, remember this one. This is used when the speaker is not the one who sets the rules. It's like other people set the rules, not the one who speak or who is speaking. Okay, so examples. You can't go out during the community quarantine. This order came from the quarantine policy. It's like, the order is from them. So that is also made from one of the agencies in the government. Okay, so next one, number 2, the company can apply for motion for reconsideration because that has something to do with the legal proceeding. So that is the order of the court. So next one, okay, you can't buy any alcoholic beverages due to liquor ban. That is from the liquor ban policy, which is also, made by the government. So in that case, just remember for can't, so we have to use it when other speakers said the rules or set the rules or laws. Okay, on the other hand, for must not or mustn't, it is used in dealing with something that is not permitted. In this context, it is the speaker who sets the rule. Can't, it's the other speakers that set the rule. But then for this, for must not and then mustn't, it's the one who speaks or it's the one who is speaking set the rule. Okay, so let's have the first example. You must not turn off your camera during the online class. So maybe it's from the teacher telling to the students like me. For example, if I were this sentence, I could say, oh, students, you must not turn off your camera during the online class. So it's if I were the one who is speaking, so I could say this one. Next one, number 2, must you eat the fruits inside the fridge? That is the statement of a mother to her child. Okay, for example, I were the mother, so I could say, hey, mustn't you eat the fruits inside the fridge? Right. The speaker is me. So that's why I have to use must not or mustn't. Okay, next one, number 3, Salome must not tell my secrets to her friends. The speaker is the boss telling it to a colleague. Okay, so that's it for prohibition. So right now, let's go to the next use of modal verb or category of modal verbs, which is obligation. So obligation expresses commitment or duty. Modals used in expressing obligations include have to or has to and must. Okay, so let's have first have to or has to. Okay, has to or have to is used when obligation comes not from the speaker. The obligation is set by an authority, rule, or law. It's similar with Cant. Okay, so let's take a look at our examples. Okay, I have to be in the airport before the flight departure. You have an obligation to do this because it's being set by the airport. So you have to follow their flight schedule. Next one, she has to submit her report on time. So she is required or she is obligated to submit the report. Okay, next one is the company has to pay retrenchment benefits to its employees. Okay, it's the responsibility of the company to pay those employees. Okay, so let's have the next one, still under the obligation for must. Okay, must is used when expressing obligation, comes from the speaker or from an authority. It's similar with mustn't. It's also from the one who is speaking. Examples. First one, I must call my husband now. It's like, I am the wife. And then I say like, oh, I must call my husband now. It's like, I am the speaker. So that's why I can use must. Next one, we must finish the report on time. So I am part of the team, so it's okay for me to use must. Okay, next one, I must stay away from them. It's me again telling that I must stay away like from gangster, from bad people, from fraternity or anything. So that's it for our obligation. So right now, let's go to the last one, which is no obligation. So it expresses the absence of commitment or duty as one may do it or not. Have to, let's say have to is used to express no obligation. It's like you are not required, you are not obligated to do something. So let's have, okay, our examples. First one is she doesn't have to attend the funeral if she is not feeling well. So she's not obligated to attend the funeral because maybe she has an excuse or it might be really real that she is not feeling well. Okay, next one, you don't have to come to my office in person. You may submit it online. You are not required to go to the office. Next one, number three, the employees now have to come this morning as the activity will start in the afternoon. Okay, so it's okay for them not to come this morning. So they are not obligated to go to the office or somewhere in the morning. Okay, so that's it. As I told you, we're going to answer our examples from the first slide that we had. So the first example is, can you give me a cup of tea? So that one can express as permission. Okay, next one, Coatley must call the police after the incident. So that shows an obligation. Okay, next, Janine has to prepare for her exam. So that also shows an obligation. And then Bernadette doesn't have to secure a permit for her to go out of her house. That expresses no obligation because of doesn't have to. Okay, that's it. So right now, let's have our role play. So I'm just gonna show you how to, use modal verbs in a conversation. So our situation here is Jane and Peter are watching TV in their home. This is their conversation. Okay, so let me read for Jane. Hey, Peter, can you give me the remote control? Sure, here it is. By the way, Peter, Mom said that you can't play video games for today. What? That's unfair. No, it isn't. You must do your homework. Fine, like that. Okay, because you have to do something like this in our next activity. That is the learning task number 5. The direction is using the infographic in the next slide from the World Health Organization. Convert it into a dialogue between two members of a family using phrases or modals plus verbs expressing permission, obligation, or prohibition. And you can also include no obligation. It's okay. Okay, like this one. This is the infographic. And I have here an example. Okay. This is a conversation between the mom and Lily, who is the child. Okay, mom said, the doctor told me that we have to wash our hands with soap and water regularly, specifically after coughing. And Lily answered, okay, I will remember that, mom. So that statement only comes from here. So just you have, to add modal verbs. Okay, that's it. Next one. Okay, so let's have the next activity. That is learning task 6. Direction, get an article from a newspaper, journal, or other online sources. Copy or cut and paste it in your paper. Then highlight each model used in the article. Then identify if the highlighted models express permission, obligation, prohibition, or no obligation. I have here an example again. I got this news article from the internet. This is Popular Science, and the title is The Importance of Being a Good Sleeper. My example, this is just an example. Let's say that this statement comes from here. Okay, so Dr. Jane said that people have to sleep for at least 8 hours. So I'm going to write here number 1, have to, and it expresses an obligation. Okay, but from the direction, so you have to underline from here. I just wrote it like this, but then all you have to do is just to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for listening and watching. So don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel and see you next time.